He did not just kill her, he recorded it. For over 7 hours, Kevin Motykie held his girlfriend of 10 years captive inside their own home, handcuffed, duct-taped, beaten, and sexually assaulted, while a recording device sat in his pocket, capturing every single second. And here is what makes this even harder to process. Katherine Torbick had already survived him once. She had already told police she believed the violence was escalating. She had already said, out loud, on record, that she feared he would kill her. The system knew. And she still did not make it out. Today, we are going to talk about everything. Who Katherine was, what the records show happened inside that home, and the warning signs that were there long before April 30th, because Katherine's story deserves to be told in full. Not just a headline, not just a mugshot. So stay with me, because there are 3 things you are going to find out in this video that will leave you with serious questions about how this was allowed to happen. Katherine Torbick was 43 years old. She was a nurse, a woman who spent her career showing up for other people on their worst days. She was also a mother. Her 12-year-old son lived with her in their home on Wethersfield Way in Schaumburg, a quiet northwest suburb of Chicago. By all accounts, Katherine was someone people leaned on. She went to work. She took care of her child. She was present. She was real. She had been in a relationship with Kevin Motykie for approximately 10 years. They shared that home, and for a long time, at least on the outside, it may have looked like a life. But court documents tell a very different story about what was happening behind closed doors. In early April, Katherine made a decision that took tremendous courage. She began dating someone else. She was trying to move forward. She was trying to live. That decision, that act of simply choosing herself, is what Kevin Motykie could not accept. What happened on April 30th did not come out of nowhere. 1 month earlier, in March, Kevin Motykie attacked Katherine inside their home. Court documents describe what happened in detail, and it is a blueprint of everything that came after. Motykie pushed her onto a bed, climbed on top of her, and placed both hands around her neck, squeezing until she was unable to breathe or speak. He then struck her in the face. He put his fingers in her mouth. He attempted to gouge her eyes. That is not a fight. That is a calculated effort to completely control another person's body. After that, he forced her into the garage while holding a knife and blocked her from leaving. He gave her 20 minutes to write a suicide note to her son, who was asleep in the home at the time. Let that sink in. Her child was in the next room. Katherine started writing the note, but she found a moment. She pushed past him. She ran to a neighbor's house. That neighbor called 911. Katherine was taken to a hospital, where injuries to her neck and bruising were documented by medical staff. And at that hospital, Katherine told investigators something that should have changed everything. She said she believed the violence was escalating. She said she feared he would kill her. An arrest warrant was issued for Kevin Motykie on March 16th. He was never found. What authorities did not know at the time, but what the recording would later confirm, is that Motykie had moved back into the home with Katherine as early as March 22nd. Just 6 days after that warrant was issued, 3 separate orders of protection had been filed against this man in previous years. 3, and he was still in that house. On the night of April 29th, Katherine's new partner last heard from her around 8 p.m. When she stopped answering her phone, he went to her home. She did not come to the door. He called police. Officers arrived at the Schaumburg home shortly before 11 p.m. They entered and found Katherine dead on a couch. Kevin Motykie was found in the garage, alive, highly intoxicated. He was slurring his words and could barely stand. Officers later learned he had taken lorazepam and hydrocodone. When they searched him, they found handcuffs in his pocket, with a key, and in the garage behind him, a rope tied into a noose hanging from an overhead beam. Then, police found something else. A digital recording device in his pocket. A search warrant revealed that the device contained a recording over 7 hours long, beginning around 2 a.m. and continuing to approximately 9:24 a.m. on April 30th. Prosecutors say the recording captured what Kevin Motykie did to Katherine Torbick over those hours. It begins with the two of them arguing. Katherine is heard screaming, pleading, begging him to get off her, begging him not to put the handcuffs on. Motykie is heard accusing her of cheating. The assault escalated. He used the handcuffs to restrain her. He used duct tape. He beat her repeatedly and controlled her movements throughout. Prosecutors say he also sexually assaulted her during the attack. The recording captures her screaming and begging him to stop. At one point, he threatened to stab her. Katherine is heard on the recording asking for her son. She wanted her child. Motykie reportedly told her that her son would be better off without her. In the final minutes of the recording, prosecutors say Motykie can be heard telling Katherine to think of somewhere happy, and then he strangled her to death, repeating the word happy as she gasped for air. The medical examiner confirmed the cause of death as strangulation and classified the manner as homicide. The examination also documented injuries consistent with prolonged physical assault. Kevin Motykie, 56 years old, is now charged with first-degree murder and aggravated criminal sexual assault. After his arrest, he was transported to St. Alexius Medical Center for treatment related to the substances he had taken. He was later released into police custody. Prosecutors have asked that he be held in custody as this case moves forward. His next court appearance is scheduled for May 29th in Rolling Meadows, Illinois. Cook County court records are the source of the charges and the detailed timeline prosecutors have laid out. What is not yet public is the full content of that recording. What has been shared in court documents is already some of the most disturbing evidence to emerge in a domestic violence case in recent memory. But the investigation is ongoing, and as additional details come forward from the May 29th court date, we will be here to cover every development. Katherine Torbick was a nurse and a mother. She showed up every day for her patients and for her son. She survived the first attack. She told police she was afraid. She did everything right, and the system, the warrant, the orders of protection, the documented hospital visit, did not move fast enough to save her. Her 12-year-old son is now without his mother, and that is the weight of what we are sitting with today. I want to ask you something directly. Katherine told police in March that she believed the violence was escalating. She said she feared he would kill her. Those words were documented. That warning was on record. What do you think needs to change so that when a woman says those words, it actually stops what comes next? Drop your answer in the comments below. This conversation matters, and if you or someone you know is in a situation that feels like it is escalating, please reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233, available 24 hours a day. You do not have to wait until it gets worse. As soon as the next development drops in the Kevin Motykie case, the May 29th court appearance, any new charges, any additional findings, you will be the first to know. Make sure you are subscribed with the bell notification turned on. Katherine's story does not end with this video.